Jamaica is an island country situated in the Caribbean Sea, spanning 10,990 square kilometers south of Cuba and 191 kilometers to the northwest, originally inhabited by the indigenous Taino peoples. The island came under Spanish rule following the arrival of Christopher Columbus in 1494. Many of the indigenous people were either killed or died of diseases to which they had no immunity, after which the Spanish then brought large numbers of African slaves to Jamaica as laborers. The island remained a possession of Spain until 1655, when England conquered it, renaming it Jamaica. Under British colonial rule, Jamaica became a leading sugar exporter, with a plantation economy dependent on the African slaves and later their descendants. The British fully emancipated all slaves in 1838, and many freedmen chose to have subsistence farms rather than to work on plantations. Beginning in the 1840s, the British began using Chinese and Indian indentured labor to work on plantations. The island achieved independence from the United Kingdom on 6 August 1962. With 2.9 million people, Jamaica is the third most populous Anglophone country in the Americas, and it is internationally prominent in sports, most notably cricket, sprinting and athletics. Jamaica is an upper-middle-income country with an economy heavily dependent on tourism. It has an average of 4.3 million tourists a year. Politically, it is a Commonwealth realm, with Elizabeth II as its queen. Her appointed representative in the country is the Governor-General of Jamaica, an office held by Patrick Allen since 2009. Andrew Holness has served as Prime Minister of Jamaica since March 2016. Jamaica is a parliamentary constitutional monarchy with legislative power vested in the bicameral Parliament of Jamaica, consisting of an appointed Senate and a directly elected House of Representatives. The indigenous people, the Taino, called the island Jamaica in their language, meaning the land of wood and water, or the land of springs. Yamai has been suggested as an early Taino name for the island as recorded by Christopher Columbus. Colloquially, Jamaicans refer to their home island as the Rock. Slang names such as Jam Rock, Jam Down, or briefly Ja have derived from this. Humans have inhabited Jamaica from as early as 4000, 1000 BC. Little is known of these early peoples. Another group, known as the Redware people, after their pottery, arrived circa 600 AD, followed by the Taino circa 800 AD, who most likely came from South America. They practiced an agrarian and fishing economy, and at their height are thought to have numbered some 60,000 people, grouped into around 200 villages headed by caciques. The south coast of Jamaica was the most populated, especially around the area now known as Old Harbour. Though often thought to have become extinct following contact with Europeans, the Taino in fact still inhabited Jamaica when the English took control of the island in 1655. Some fled into interior regions, merging with African maroon communities. The Jamaican National Heritage Trust is attempting to locate and document any remaining evidence of the Taino. Christopher Columbus was the first European to see Jamaica, claiming the island for Spain after landing there in 1494 on his second voyage to the Americas. His probable landing point was Dry Harbor, called Discovery Bay, and St. Anne's Bay was named St. Gloria by Columbus as the first sighting of the land. He later returned in 1503. However, he was shipwrecked and he and his crew were forced to live on Jamaica for a year while waiting to be rescued. 1.5 kilometers west of St. Anne's Bay is the site of the first Spanish settlement on the island, Sevilla, which was established in 1509 by Juan de Esquivel but abandoned around 1524 because it was deemed unhealthy. The capital was moved to Spanish Town, then called Saint Jago de la Vega, around 1534. Meanwhile, the Tainos began dying in large numbers, from both introduced diseases to which they had no immunity, and from enslavement by the Spanish. As a result, the Spanish began importing slaves from Africa to the island. Many slaves managed to escape, forming autonomous communities in remote and easily defended areas in the interior of Jamaica. Mixing with the remaining Taino, These communities became known as Maroons. Many Jews fled the Spanish Inquisition to live on the island. They lived as conversos and were often persecuted by the Spanish rulers. Some turned to piracy against the Spanish Empire's shipping. By the early 17th century, it is estimated that no more than 2,500 to 3,000 people lived on Jamaica. The English began taking an interest in the island and, following a failed attempt to conquer Santo Domingo on Hispaniola, Sir William Penn and General Robert Venables led an invasion of Jamaica in 1655. Battles at Ocho Rios in 1657 and the Rio Nuevo in 1658 resulted in Spanish defeats. In 1660, the Maroon community under the leadership of Havana the Bold